So I'm trying to do these pieces like a modern, like non-religious take on the whole creation myth, but done in the eyes of science. It's a biblical story. It has to do with the conversion of Saul of Tarsus, who is a persecutor of the early Christians, who, according to the Bible story, was converted to Christianity directly by a vision of Jesus, which blinded him and knocked him off his horse, and became St. Paul. And the saying, the road to Damascus, has kind of come to mean a life-changing experience. Sir Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, and that one will wind up being Einstein. They're all people whose work has replaced a lot of the dogma and teachings of the church. I'm presenting them as saints, in these little saintly, like, cameo-type portraits. The Adam painting is obviously a direct reference to Michelangelo's fresco in the Sistine Chapel, where God is creating Adam. But in my piece, there's no God. In the place of the touch, he's holding the apple. He's presented in the foreground with, these steps of evolution behind him. And those are two animals that come out of the piece. It's an Archaeopteryx and an Acanthostega, which are huge transitional species. The Archaeopteryx was discovered right around the time Darwin published The Evolution of the Species, and it was a catalyst and became a big point of the pro-evolution argument. Was here's this reptile fossil that has feathers and was unquestionably the proto-bird. The other animal is Acanthostega, which was the first bridge between the jawed fish and amphibians, the first animal that had a shoulder and pelvic girdle that could actually support its limbs and would allow it to walk out of the water. The Tower of Babel, that's the way the Bible explains the differences in languages. All of mankind was united under King Nebuchadnezzar, who wanted to build a tower to heaven. And as he got closer and closer to heaven, God got pissed off and struck everyone dumb in the workforce and split the languages so that no one would ever be able to amass such a giant workforce, because nobody would be able to communicate with each other. But I wanted like a modern, like technical version of it, this like tower to heaven, more of like a man's triumph over his creator. All these things that were unexplainable at 500 years ago when the style of art that I'm copying was being made. All of this was being credited towards God, and now little by little science and math and is picking away at this and answering all the questions and shedding light where there was just darkness once.